What was the task?
Our task was to make our original 3D model based on the idea of Hundertwasser. We made this by collecting the objects such as empty box, can, cardboard, and CD. What was being assessed?
Things that were being assessed were how we used elements and techniques that were inspired by Hundertwasser well into our 3D model. Can you briefly explain how you worked as a group?
So we worked on this assignment by dividing our work. For example, I was in charge for decoration and Jiyeon was mostly painting for the objects. However, we sometimes worked together when each of us were struggling and needed some extra help. So can you explain all the steps you took to get to the end?
So at first, we collected the items that we were going to use for our model, such as box, CD player, and others. Then we sticked plasters on every items like boxes to paint easily. After drying the plaster, we started painting using acrylic on each building, one building per person. Once we were finished with painting all of the buildings and base, which is the ground, we started to decorate buildings and the ground with CD, color papers, ribbon, feathers, and glitter. So what were issues we had with construction, group members, or time management?
I think we struggled with time management, that we wasted too much time over 2 days on painting on buildings when we should have started decorating with other elements after 2 days. Can you explain how we resolved these issues?
To solve this issue, we stayed after school spending extra time to finish our model. So how did we document our work and plan the next steps as a group?
So as a group, we discussed together what we should finish next class and what we should try to improve, and finally write them down on our document. What are the 4 strengths that we used for our model?
I think first of all, I think we painted and decorated very neatly since we spent a lot of time on painting and also used plaster. The next thing is that we used different patterns on buildings that were creative and also that are inspired by Hundertwasser. Then we used different objects to decorate our building, such as CD, feather, and color papers. The last thing is that our buildings were glued well and stable, and all the objects were sticked strongly on the buildings. If we were to do this again, then what would we change or do differently?
So if we could fix the model again, 3 areas that we would try to improve are: first, decoration on the ground, because there were some empty space that we can add more things. And next, decoration on buildings, since there were also some empty space that needs to be decorated on buildings. And putting more detail on painting, that some paintings are too simple. Can you describe in detail 3 or 4 ways it is inspired by Hundertwasser?
So first of all, we drew lollipop trees on the model using different kinds of colorful colors. And we also drew different varieties of spirals inspired by Hundertwasser, like different sizes. And we also used patterns that were well illustrated through the style of Hundertwasser. For example, wavy lines and curvy lines that aren't straight. Overall, what do you think of your artwork, Rico?
I think I am proud of my artwork because we spent a lot of time to put effort on it. We stayed after school or spent time during lunchtime to make a progress on this project.
So personally, what skills did you learn or improve on?
From my perspective, I think we learned to improve our planning skill, communication skill, and on concentration skill. So what about you, Jiyeon?
I think the artwork is finished very well. The model is very creative and also includes Hundertwasser's elements very well. We had creative designs of buildings that we used domes and creative patterns that we created for paintings. Also, it was great that we used different objects to decorate our model. And lastly, I liked how we could finish our model successfully as we planned. Skills that I think I learned from this project are how to make an artwork together as a team and also communicating skill and planning that were very important to this project. Finally, what do you think of this project?
I think working as a group was quite hard than I thought. If you are working by yourself, you can plan by yourself based on your individual idea, but as a group, you are expected to discuss with your teammates and find a good result. However, I also thought developing communication skills or planning skills are very important. So I think this project allowed us to also learn about lots of things.
Our team also worked equally, that each of us had equal job to do, and all of us finished by ourselves. We also had some parts that we worked together, such as decorating, and we all shared ideas and communicated while we were working. All of us did well on planning and also did well on working together.